25-man enter, only one man wins. It's Battle Royal time, baby. It's Island Rumble review coming at you here on Ring Respect Radio. And that means that, boom, just like that, it's Thursday night. Get your drinks ready because it's time to party with us. Our names, well, we're the Video Bros. I'm Bobby Munson, the man sitting beside me. He's the man with the angelic voice. He's Papa Smokes. Papa Smokes, happy Thursday. How you doing, brother?
Oh, it's Thursday already, Munson, and I'm ready for another episode of Ring Respect Radio. We've got all kinds of awesome wrestling action for you people here tonight. I can't wait to get into it.
You bet. And we're going to be hanging out here, of course, with our good friend Bass. He's in the house. Happy Thursday to you, Bass. Thanks for being here, brother, as always. And Zach's in here giving us a good old happy Thursday. Happy birthday to you. Or happy Thursday to you. I mean, it might be your birthday. I don't know, but happy Thursday to you. How can you tell that I'm definitely in Thursday night party mood already there, Papa Smoke?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good evening to Melball in the house.
Hey, Mel.
How are you doing, Melball? Thanks for being here. And yes, it's the Mangler saying hello, Video Bros, and go Bombers. Yeah.
Woo.
When's that game on again, Papa Smokes? It's coming up this weekend, correct?
It's on right now, Munson. As
right
you know,
now. So you got dual screen going?
No, I can't do that right now. I got to concentrate on this podcast. But yeah, lots of Bomber games on Thursday nights. So the sacrifices I make, it's really something.
You're a man of the people, Papa Smokes. You're a man of the people. They love you for it. But yes, we got a great show coming up here for you tonight. We're going to be, of course, talking about our friends over in Island Pro Wrestling, giving them a little bit of love here. So make sure to go check them out over on the YouTube side. But before we get to them, I know, Papa Smokes, we don't cover the big companies very much. And this one's it's the smaller version of one of their companies. It's the Luchador version, the AAA one. Just want to give a shout to what was a banger match there. That El Grande versus El Grande match versus mass match. That's probably one of the best damn things most people are going to see this year.
I think so too, Munson. I don't watch a ton of the big companies, actually not very much at all. But I watched this because I had the feeling it was going to be good. And they did this match down in AAA, and I think that it was pretty clear that AAA handled the booking of this match, the layout, the setup, all that stuff. And it was really quite something. I liked this match a lot. It was a throwback to the old lucha matches of the 60s and 70s and beyond. And they really put on a good show with this and with the mariachi and everything else. Man, I would like to have been at that match in person. It was quite something. I felt that one in my gut, Munson.
You bet, yeah. Masked wrestlers are always a great thing to watch, especially when mask versus mask is on the line. And there's been a man out and about these indie scene here in Canada, Pop Smoke, especially in a little company we like to call Prairie Pro Wrestling. He's been complaining about his mask not being in shape anymore. I'm talking about, your favorite man on the planet, El Assassino, who's been doing a lot of whining and bitching, but is that whining and bitching going to have to be answered to when he has to quite possibly step inside the ring at Prairie Pro Wrestling presents Storm Warning on Saturday, June the 27th, live in Saskatoon. And I'm telling you, Papa Smokes, the reserve seating is all sold out. If you didn't reserve your seats, you ain't getting a seat. But what you can do is reach out to us at Prairie Pro Wrestling to get your general admission standing room tickets. Do not delay. I warned you about the seats. I'm not going to continue to warn you. If you just don't get around to it and you don't make it into the show, that's on you at this point. So reach out today, book your way into Canada's and Saskatoon's hottest wrestling company, Prairie Pro Wrestling. And I saw you nod in approval on the Prairie Pro stuff, but not my shit talking of El Assassino there, Papa Smokes.
Oh man, I've only heard how many times that's gone poorly for you, Munson, and I can't seem to get it through to you that it's not a good idea to trash talk one El Assassino, the Mexican Devil. But you've slithered and slipped your way out of his grasp a few times. Maybe you think your luck isn't going to run out, but I have the feeling it's going to. But fans, even though seating is sold out at this point, get a general admission ticket because that's the way Papa Smokes likes to roll when he's a fan. Standing room only. You can be mobile, you can walk around, you can go get your beers, you can go outside for your puffs, you can do all that stuff. You have the freedom to do it. It will be packed in the Cosmos Center just off Broadway in Saskatoon. However, you don't want to miss any of this awesome live indie wrestling action.
And you know something about El Assassino here, Papa Spokes, is he's got this little GoFundMe page going for himself right now. He wants the fans to pay for his destroyed mask and his destroyed pants and all his gear that got so messed up because, of course, he ran his mouth a few too many times. He barked up the wrong tree and he got what was coming to him. So now it's the fans' fault, and the fans should pay for it. Well, I'm going to tell you something, El Assassino. Go look at your GoFundMe page and look who your biggest donator is right now, because you're going to have to suck on that every single time you put that mask on for the rest of the remaining parts of your career, knowing that I am the biggest donator to your stupid GoFundMe. So take that, El Assassino.
So, Munson, am I hearing this correctly? You're trying to take a shot at El Assassino by donating to his GoFundMe, to being the biggest donator to his GoFundMe? How does that work?
Because he will forever have to know that when he puts that new mask on, that it was courtesy of yours truly. And he's going to have to live with that every single day for the rest of his career, Papa Smokes. He will never, never forget me.
That's a weird flex, Munson, but he will gladly take your money. I know this, as I know the man El Assassino. He will take your money, the fans' money, anybody's money, especially because you guys are the cause of why his gear is ripped and wrecked and destroyed. And you guys should pay for it. Munson, you should pay for it all yourself.
I've already put the money down. I've put it down. So just come out and match me. Come on, everybody. Come out and match me. Do what you can. Get this man his new gear so we can stop the whining and get back to the wrestling. That's what it's all about. And speaking of wrestling, Papa Smokes, this past Saturday, MLW Fusion off the hook one more time. They had masked wrestlers on the show as well, too, as the two-time Opera Cup winner and former middleweight champion there, Mr. Mystico, took on the rising star Diego Hill. Seeing Diego Hill take up a loss in this one, but a banger of a matchup at the same time. We said we see them pushing Diego Hill, but there's a lot of like Mystico they've put as one of their top dudes on the program. And this match went for a while. There's some good time in it, and Diego Hill looked good throughout. So again, I feel it's one of those in loss he didn't truly lose.
Well, yeah, and that's the kind of thing. That's what MLW is going for right now, is that they've built Mystico. Well, Mystico's already a huge star in Mexico, but MLW have established him as one of their big stars. And then you can see that they want to give the push to Diego Hill as well. Quite deserved, I must say, because he's got some intense in-ring action. But these two together, you knew was going to be a good match. Regardless of the winner, you know, Mystico doesn't need to take a loss right now either. But Diego Hill didn't look like he was damaged by taking that loss. He's one of their blue chip stocks for the future, so to speak. And you can see MLW treating him with a nice push and very gentle treatment as far as his win-loss record goes.
You bet. And I just want to pop this comment on the screen for a second time. Melball's proud because of the pettiness that Bobby's going for. Love it. Thank you, Melball. Thank you for being on my side. Yeah. But also in action on MLW Fusion this last Saturday, Pop Spokes, it was the MLW Women's, as they keep calling it the Women's World Championship. I think they're trying to lean away from the featherweight championship name that they initially came in with and going more towards the Women's World Champion. Yes, it was Shoko Nakajima defending the championship against Shotzi Blackheart, and a well-fought match. Great action from these two individuals. And in the end, Shotzi Blackheart remains undefeated and is the new MLW Women's World Champion. Excellent, and congratulations to Shotzi on that one.
Yeah, and you know, Papa Smokes has been singing the praises of Shotzi Blackheart over the past year. We've seen her appear for WPW in Winnipeg a few times, but she's been really busting her ass on the indies, traveling all around, doing shows in all cities across North America and beyond, and really, really putting her time in as one of the top ladies indie stars. And MLW seeing that, wanting her there, and then she gets the nod over Nakajima, who has held that belt for quite some time now. So time for a change, I think. And Shotzi Blackheart, quite fitting and quite worthy to hold that title. I think they'll get a good run out of her, no question.
Oh, for sure, definitely, and the fans loved every second of it. There was two other matches scheduled. One didn't take place because the match between Alan Angels and Kushida went right before it took place. They went backstage to one of the cut-ins of the Contra unit, and Okamura showing that he has now joined the team of Contra as him and Kushida beat Alan Angels down in the back. That match now rescheduled for this coming Saturday on MLW Fusion. But the main event of the night was the MLW Tag Team Championship table matchup between the champions, the Skyscrapers, Donovan Dijak and Bishop Dyer, taking on the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. Once again, these two teams at arms with one another, putting on a hell of a battle with one another. Great fight, great big boy fight here once again between two very experienced sides, and the Skyscrapers came out on top. This was another great way to top up MLW Fusion for the week. They're back on fire. I'm really enjoying this MLW Fusion revival here, Pops folks.
Yeah, same. And what a good main event for this particular episode here, too. Two teams made up of very experienced wrestlers, and like you said, big boy action in this one. Anderson being the smallest guy on either of these teams, and he's got a pretty good build on him as well. But wow, a tables match. These are the two main tag teams in MLW. They've been building this for a bit. Bang, they clash in a tables match, and whoa, big, good action. Really awesome stuff. And then the Skyscrapers going over in this one. So the Good Brothers, also known to just really work the indies hard, but doing some time in MLW here, they're going to have to regroup and make another run at the Skyscrapers.
100%. And you know, it's far from over because they still battled after the match. This one, how are you going to settle it? There's going to be something to kind of pay off from MLW. There's going to be something they're going to brew up between these two teams, and it is going to be brutal. And you guarantee that it will probably, if whatever it is, will hopefully bring an end to that feud and bring on the next one. But what a feud it's been between those two teams. MLW back on fire. Check it out this coming Saturday. Titles on the line. Killer Cross defending against Matt Riddle this Saturday on MLW Fusion. As well, Alex Hammerstone said he's going to be lurking around that one. He's got his eyes on it. I feel Hammerstone is going to get himself involved in the encounter between Cross and Riddle this coming Saturday.
And what do you think of the way Hammerstone's been conducting himself recently? He's shown his inner frustration. He feels like he should be kind of automatically inserted into this title picture at being a well-decorated former champion of MLW, but the title picture currently taken up by the champion Killer Cross and another former champion Matt Riddle there. So is Hammerstone's frustration going to boil over? Is Hammerstone going to become a heel? We'll see.
You bet. And Melville saying that the Good Brothers are also in Noah, and apparently Gallows will be in Edmonton in July. And of course, if you want to find out what's going on in the world of Noah, you can check it out right here on OLE Podcast with Melball Collins. Noah Unleashed, one of the hit shows here on the channel for all things Noah. Check that out and support Melball. Go check out her work. It is top notch and excellent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of other people who do excellent content on the channel, Pop Smokes, hey to Astrid in the house. Thank you for being here, Astrid, on a Thursday night with us. And we are now going to go into the topic that we decided was going to be this week's main topic, Papa Smokes. Our friends over at Island Pro Wrestling in PEI, their most recent event that is now available over on the YouTube side, where they're actually doing the live streams of these events. They're taking a crack at doing live, which I thought was really impressive. Not very easy to do, especially in an indie setting. So kudos to Island Pro Wrestling for that feature that they're giving to people now. I know that there's a few matches, like if you check their socials, there's a few matches that are considered VIP matches for people who pay the VIP tickets, and they might have a Patreon or something like that where you get a members only version of those matches. So those in particular aren't covered here on today's review, but we will cover what is available over on YouTube from the live stream that we were able to watch there. But Pop and Smokes, before we get into the night that was the Island Rumble, what can you tell the people about where this one took place and a little bit more about the area in general?
Sure. This is one of the Canadian provinces, Prince Edward Island, or PEI. We've covered other of Island Pro's shows. They often run in Charlottetown, which is the capital of Prince Edward Island, but this time going on the road to Cornwall, PEI, which isn't too far from the capital, a smaller city, a population of 6,574, so not a big city in the least. It's immediately west of Charlottetown. This city was originally known as Pye's Corner, P-Y-E''S. Don't know what that means, but that was the original name of the city. Cornwall, PEI is the home of Olympic sprinter Jared Connaughton and former Stanley Cup champion and Boston Bruin Adam McQuaid. So a few famous Canadian athletes out of Cornwall, PEI. Now this card took place on May 16th, 2026 at the APM Center in Cornwall. Capacity approximately 600 in the hockey rink, or 350 to 400 for the gym. And by the look of this stream, it took place in the gymnasium there.
Yeah, it looked good. It was well lit, as per usual. They do a nice job of doing that on the production. They seem to be up in their production game with every time, especially going to these live streams, multiple camera changes, even during the Rumble, having the small screen showing a bit of the action while people are coming out at the same time. It's very interesting there. We'll start with how this started off with, I would say, a rough start, in my opinion, as a fan. And especially looking in as someone watching, if I were there live as well too, and what we know of indie wrestling, how little patience some people have of being in an arena when a segment is taking place. So they start with this segment of my time with Caden. It was very long. His back and forth, like he is really gotten under the skin of these fans. Don't get me wrong, like that part is very apparent, and there was a lot of that back and forth, but it went for so long. And then when he calls out his guest Stormy Hale, and then it continues even longer, and you've got a lot of these people that really get under the skin of the fans. As a viewer, there's long periods of time of just that back and forth, and we haven't even got to the first match of the night yet, where this takes up a strong big section of the show. So, and I don't find their talking session did a whole lot for me either. And that's just a personal thing. I love Island Pro Wrestling, and I'm going to talk positively about some matches coming up. I could have done without the segment, or maybe tighten it up. That might have been the exact thing I would have done. I would have tightened this up, given it a little less time, because it was effective in assuring you to know that Caden is one of the top guys as a heel in the company, and that he is a danger to the top of the card as well too.
Yeah, well, we definitely established Caden as one of the big heels in this company for sure. I'm going to agree with you on most of what you said here. It's a segment. It needs to be done if they're going to forward their storyline, so to speak. However, when a wrestling card starts, I personally prefer if they start on the fast foot, if they start with a match. They give us a match. Let us get a peek at what we're going to see for the rest of the evening. Then I would have thrown that segment in there. That's just personal preference for me. But I did like the segment to a certain extent. It was too long, yes, most definitely. But everybody in it was talented. And this also got, like you say, under the skin of the fans, got them grumbling, got them yelling. it brought up one of the more significant things about this audience tonight was that there was the little girl's birthday party there, and they seemed to be front and foremost amongst the fans there at the front row, and they were entertaining as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the heels took full advantage of that and gave the girl's birthday party some
And a
attention,
bubble
shall we
gun.
say.
That
Oh
bubble
yeah,
gun was
yeah, they were
hilarious.
shooting the bubbles all over the heels and stuff like that too. Caden and Stormy Hale can talk, no problem there. It was good, but they gave them too long of a segment. I liked when Caden called the crowd a bunch of potato farmers. That's got to be mean to the PEI people. Of course, potato farming a huge thing in Prince Edward Island. So they didn't like that whatsoever, and they didn't like Caden or Sassy Stormy whatsoever. And this just served to cement these heels as among the most hated people in the company for sure.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It was effective in that sense. But yeah, definitely a little too long, maybe tighten it up a little bit, but talented people, of course, got under the fan skin. And yeah, I mean, the kid's birthday party, that's a riot. That's a hoot when you can get the young ones especially into pro wrestling and getting involved in that sense. Because I mean, it wasn't just there was the bubble gun. I think at one point during the Rumble, they said they had a squirt gun out as well too, or something.
Yeah,
They allowed them to
yeah.
just go to town throughout this thing, which became very entertaining in itself.
Well, yeah, I like the little girl's birthday party, number one, because I love to see young fans having a good time at wrestling shows, maybe seeing their first show or just some of their first memories of wrestling will be about this local indie show they went to. But you have to admit, a little girl's birthday party in the front row is a gift to the heels of the company. This
Oh yeah.
is this makes their job so much easier. And we've seen some great heel work in Prairie Pro Wrestling as well, going after the little kids. And that always gets people grumpy in the crowd, gets the little kids grumpy, but these kids seem to handle it just fine. They were beautiful and awesome little future fans getting into the heckling, getting into the bubble shooting. Love to see that always.
Yeah, that was a good time. Getting into the actual meat of the matter, the action of the night, we start the card off with Ryan Denham taking on the Mauler James Manning. There was a big storyline that they gave us here, Papa Smokes, and this is not our cup of tea storyline wise. We could do without the fake horsey apples being broken in half and Ryan Denham having a mental breakdown over his fake horse being broken, and now he's taped or now he or they are been taped up and brought back down, and I can do without that level of silliness in my pro wrestling. However, the match itself between these two guys, strip away that portion of it, this is probably the best matchup of the entire card, including the Battle Royal. This was actually a really solid wrestling match. I like the Mauler James Manning quite a lot. I think he's great. Ryan Denham can work. Ryan Denham's a good worker and everything like that. It's just that fake horse thing I could do without. But when he got out there and said, "It's my anniversary tonight. There's my lovely wife in the crowd," I thought that was cool. Like pointing that out, because you're like, man, there's no way they're going to have the heel beat this guy down and destroy him in front of his wife. They could never do that. Of course, it's pro wrestling. Of course, they're going to do that. Oh,
Cool.
I apologize to everybody. Sorry, they're seasonal allergies. But
Yeah,
yes,
the
expectation. Yeah. The expectation there is you're going to expect to see that beatdown, and that beatdown happened. There was many times where Ryan Denham's having his back worked on by the Mauler James Manning, and even the commentary saying, like, why would he do this on his anniversary? Why would he do this with his poor wife having to watch him take this beatdown? You're like, well, maybe he'll get the hero's comeback. Maybe it's coming. Who knew? That hero's comeback. He came back for a while, but in the end, the Mauler taking advantage and giving the full beatdown and picking up the victory over Ryan Denham in this matchup. Again, matchup was awesome. The matchup itself, very solid, like both these guys in the ring, and they did a great job storytelling throughout. if I wouldn't have watched the package before and Ryan Denham wouldn't have rode the damn horse down to the ring, if I would have skipped all that, I would have said it was a perfect match.
Yeah, and let's make sure the fans understand what's going on here too. Ryan Denham comes out as a babyface, and he's got a cowboy character going on. He looks good. He's a handsome guy. His presentation is good and everything. He comes out as a cowboy, and he's got the little yeehaw, and the fans like that. They like to yell it. The kids like to yell it. But he also brings out his horse, Apples, which is one of those stick horses. It's like a broomstick with a little puppet horse head on the end that you put between your legs and then pretend that you're riding a horse. And this stick puppet horse's name is Apples. And the kids like Apples. They find it funny. I think a lot of the adults find it funny as well. And Apples seems to have become a little bit of a character in IPW. And people like Apples. But as we've been told by commentary, James Manning, the Mauler, has been all over Ryan Denham. And in order to break his spirit, he's broken Apples in half. As the commentary guys told us, broke the horse's spine and broke the horse's spirit. You know, really selling this thing as a significant thing that had happened in this. And again, bringing up the girl's birthday party. They were all about Apples. They wanted to see Apples. They wanted to see Ryan Denham succeed in his match and see Apples maybe brought back into it, because it seemed like Apples might be dead or might be gone because of the previous attack. But at any rate, this was a pretty good match. I liked it a lot. The Mauler is a heel. He is a heel's heel.
Oh, yeah.
You can see that this guy's a long-time experienced pro wrestler. To give you a visual picture, he's a big, tall guy with a bald head and a big, long beard. He looks like a classic wrestling villain. And like I say, Ryan Denham comes out kind of a handsome, younger guy, a cowboy dude. So this is classic light and dark, babyface versus heel kind of thing. And they do a solid match where Denham comes out, kind of takes the lead right off the bat, gets a little bit of fire in that, gets the crowd worked up, and then the Mauler takes over, slows it down, works over Denham. You could see we didn't know about this, but it looked like Denham had maybe had the injured back at some point in the recent past, because the Mauler focused all of his energy on Ryan Denham's lower back. And he's got a bunch of different kinds of back breakers. And he's just doing that slow, plodding heel style, which is very, very effective and which is building up heat for the babyface. You know that Denham's going to come back at some point, and he did, much to the delight of the crowd in Cornwall, PEI. However, can't quite put it all together to get the win. The Mauler goes over for the pinfall from Ryan Denham, starts threatening to grab Apples the horse again, and you just think, my God, is he going to damage the horse again? Is he going to break the horse's back? But Ryan Denham's lovely wife jumps into the ring on their anniversary to try and protect her husband and to try and protect Apples the horse. And this doesn't go so well for wifey whatsoever. And the Mauler goes over on her too, gives her a full-on backbreaker as well. And now the wife and husband are down in the ring. My God, can they ever come back from this? Because the Mauler just showed pure dominance in this segment. And you have to think that's not the end of it. Ryan Denham's got to have his comeuppance on the Mauler.
Yeah, and that's where it really worked even better for me, is because when it gets more personal like that, crying over an inanimate object doesn't really do it for me. But when you bring his wife into the picture, now the Mauler's laid his hand on his wife. Good God, man, like this breaks a man. This turns a man psycho, right? Like next time Ryan Denham gets his opportunity one-on-one with the Mauler, this better not be, handshakes and grapples. This needs to be fists and chains and chairs and whatever it is that Ryan Denham can get his damn hands on to cut the mauler and bleed him and put him down. Like, this needs to be an angry man. He laid his hands on your damn wife. It's time to fire up, nut up, and get in that ring and beat the hell out of the mauler next time.
Well, it'll be on site, guaranteed. That's the way they're going to do it. And so it begs the question, will IPW prolong this a little bit, maybe make a series of matches, or will they book a specialty match of some kind, a cage match, a chain match, a no disqualification match, whatever suits the occasion? Any of those would be quite suitable, but you got to think that's probably coming up in the future.
It's got to be something, but definitely coming around the corner. Up next in action, we had the PEI Championship. So I'm starting to finally understand this. So there was originally a Prince Edward Island Championship, but now since the new ownership's taken over, they have the Island Pro Heavyweight Championship, was kind of the main belt, but there's a lot of history behind the PEI Championship, which Rick Owens holds, and he's been holding it for a history record run in the history of the title. So he's defending the belt against Logan Green in this matchup, and this was, again, another solid matchup. Fans are really well behind Rick Owens. They love him as the champion. Logan Green comes in, slimy ass heel, really arrogant, really getting under the skin of the fans. Of course, this is the kind of stuff we like, because we like these kind of guys, these really arrogant, ignorant guys that you just want to see get punched in the face. This is what makes a good baby face, is having somebody that's punchable come out like this. Logan Green fits that mold just right, and he's right up there with your Cadens and, you know, people like that, of course, as well as the ultimate male, ultimate female. Those are the kinds of people that make your baby face stronger. So that's what made the passion behind this match work. When Rick Owens gets in there and fired up, he does a great job. He ends up retaining the belt, but what a fight it was between these two competitors.
Oh, pretty good stuff, I think. Yeah. That was a good description of the hierarchy of their belts there too, and perhaps a little bit similar to what we've seen in the Saskatchewan situation. There was for a long time the provincial title here, which had and has a very storied history from the past, but then the host company will have their main heavyweight title as well. I think that's same idea as what Island Pro Wrestling is doing here. So I like Logan Green. He's an effective heel. He's a mid-card guy at this point in his career. He comes out with Sabrina. One of the things I like best about Logan Green, he has a good presentation, but I also like his voice. And I don't know if that's put on or not, but he's got that nasally, screeching voice, which picks up very well on the microphones. You can hear what he's saying over this stream quite clearly. And also, it's just like nails on a chalkboard, and you could see the crowd reacting, just hating what he's saying, but hating the voice it's said in as well. It's the small things sometimes, Munson, that make all the difference. If you're a heel with a peculiar voice of any kind, play that up, just as Logan Green is doing here, just getting under the skin of those fans. Rugged Rick Owens, who came out with Katie Lim, is obviously one of their big stars. He got one of the bigger pops of this evening for sure. He's the everyman babyface. Looks like a normal dude, looks like somebody's uncle, looks like the guy driving your tow truck, looks like your garbage man, looks like a good solid dude. And he comes out to a huge ovation in Cornwall here. He comes out with a bunch of energy, takes over quickly at the beginning of this match, but of course, Logan Green going to take over with some heel shit throughout this match. The fans shoot bubbles and water guns at Green all through this, much to his annoyance. However, it doesn't bother him so much. I liked what the commentators said about Rugged Rick Owens. The one commentator said, he's the Maritimer's dream. He's got a double wide and a case of beer. So there you go, right there. That's the average working man's wrestler. Everybody can relate to him, and he's got that charisma and that popularity there. Uh, LG, Logan Green, they like to call him LG in this, so I'll call him LG too. Tries to come off the top rope, but gets cut off by Owens. Green stays on offense, and Green constantly working as well, talking to the fans, interacting with the fans during the match at ringside. Love it. That's good pro wrestling work right there. But Owens looking throughout this match to hit his finish, a stunner, and eventually he does. Hits it clean. Nice sell by Logan Green. 1, 2, 3, pinfall, and rugged Rick Owens retains the PEI championship. Logan Green back to the drawing board, but putting in a good match and a good appearance as a heel, I could see Logan Green moving up the card, currently looking good in the middle of the card status, but I could see that guy advancing his career towards more top heel work in this company. However, Island Pro has some very talented heels at the very top of the card, so LG will have to work hard to get up there.
Yeah, and you know what? You got to work hard, but sometimes there's a window of opportunity that sometimes you can fast track your career to the top. Sometimes you fast track your career right to the top in the form of the main championship. And that's what we were about to find out in the main event of the evening. And this one is the Island Battle Royal, or Island Rumble as it is. 25 men enter, one man leaves with a championship opportunity at the IPW heavyweight champion, which again, we must have missed one show or something like that, Papa Smokes, because I don't believe Giant Orion is any longer holding that belt. So I'm kind of curious what we missed out on there and a little bit what's going on. But yeah, missed something for sure.
We're going to hear from the current champion before this show is over as well. So we will be able to fill you in on what must have happened.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I'll turn that over to you when we get there, Papa Smokes. But I have got the order of which this Rumble went in terms of where they came in. I started to lose track. I tried to keep up with what order they went out in, and I started to lose track near the end when more bodies were being dumped quicker and quicker kind of thing. It was a little harder to keep up. Could have gone back, didn't have a chance to. So unfortunately, I've got some of the positions that they were thrown out in. Starting with, of course, LG, we say it. You want to find your way back to the top. Here's your opportunity, but he's going to have a hell of a night, Papa Smokes, drawing number 1 in this Battle Royal. LG Logan Green coming out. Next up was Starchild. I don't know if we've seen anything from Starchild yet from Island Pro at all in the past, so definitely there's a lot of new faces in here that we weren't familiar with for sure.
Yeah, and I'm glad about that too, because then we get to see who they like to book, who they've got coming in. Probably some of these guys are talent on, traveling from other provinces and other companies, or possibly even from the US. We even had a guy from South African in this match who we'll talk about in a little bit, but good to just get a glimpse of some of these guys and just get a little taste of what some of their talent can do.
For sure. Yeah, number 3 into the fight was Myafa. Myafa, quite a large individual, quite a good fighter. Liked what I saw there. Number 4, Ryan Denham come out, still selling earlier in the night, that injured back, but hanging in there decently as well too. Number 5, we ended up having Zane Valentine. Yes, the ultimate, the alpha male, the ultimate male, Zane Valentine. We always like him. A lot of shit talking happens when he comes out to the ring. And then you want to talk shit talk. Caden's up next. Caden comes out to the ring, and oh my God, did they want to murder him on his way out there? And of course, here's the interesting thing with Caden in this match. 2 interesting things that they did with him in this. First, he gets busted open. Then he gets hogtied to the ring post, and he's spending most of this matchup tied to the ring post with the top of his head busted open, blood dripping down the entire time. I thought that was quite the image. And then at one point, he actually gets down onto the apron, slides to the outside, and hides under the ring. And I thought, this slime ball is going to come in when there's one dude left cheering, thinking that he's won this thing. And I thought for a minute he was going to win it. Now, to kind of give it away, Caden doesn't end up winning it, I do think they should have left it for that moment and just had whoever it was catch Caden at the corner of his eye and still throw Caden over and get the victory. I think would have been effective instead of, I think, what was it, final 6 or something like that, that I think Caden finally ran in and got his comeuppance before he was sent over the top. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Caden, he's definitely a top heel. These fans absolutely loathe him. You can put him into a top position quite easily.
For sure, for sure. He's talented. He gets being a heel for sure, and the fans are all over that. But speaking of good heels, I wanted to bring up. You said number 5 he came out was the ultimate male, Zane Valentine. I continue to be impressed by this guy. I really think he's an excellent talent, a great Canadian wrestler, a fantastic heel, and keeping with that, he comes out, walks over to the commentary desk, and slaps the taste out of one of the commentators' mouths. Oh, that was nice. And you can't really ask for more heat. He's not even in the ring yet, and he slapped one of those commentators right to the ground. Beautiful stuff. I just love watching Shane Valentine. Definitely one of the more talented people in this company.
Well, Zane Valentine would have to almost answer to that whole slap of the commentator in a short little bit.
Yeah.
First, before that, Cash enters the fight. Yo, look who's just entered our show. It's Ed Fries coming in. Hey, fellas. Hey, Ed, how are you doing, my man? Good to see you here on a Thursday night. So, yes, we had Cash come in after that. Explosion Kid comes out after. This is a series of masked nonsense that goes on through the night. But Explosion Kid making his IPW debut comes out. Also making his IPW in-ring debut and pro wrestling debut was said commentator Jesse Goutreau, who then went on to be the quickest eliminated in a battle royal or in the Island Pro Wrestling battle royal scene. But he played it up and he had fun with it. I'm happy for the dude.
Sure. And it might have seemed a little more clumsy or clunky, except that Valentine had already slapped his face. So now this makes a little more logical sense that he's going to get in the ring. Not that there's anything that Jesse was going to do that could hurt Shane Valentine, I'm sure, but a little bit of fun. Get the commentator involved. He'd already got his face slapped, so get him in there. He did 1 or 2 little spots and then just unceremoniously dumped over the top rope. Right back to the desk with you, bro. You're back on commentary again.
Yeah, you bet. Number 10 out was Rugged Rick Owens, followed by number 11 was James Manning. 12, we had Daniel Wall enter the fold. 13 was Demonic. 14 was Ryan McGrath. 15, Famine. 16, Jesus Christ, El Dancimo.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I will be as respectful as I can, but people, go watch this and tell me I'm wrong. El Dancimo takes the fun level up for maybe some people who like that kind of stuff. But whenever I see anybody dancing and swaying around on one of the ropes and acting like a goof in a battle royal, I'm waiting for that one heel to walk up, slap them in the goddamn face and knock them out of the ring. Because not only does it draw a lot of heat, but it gets that crap off the screen. I'm sorry, guys, but El Dancimo is not for Bobby.
Well, yeah. I can't disagree with you there, but this was a spot that was just supposed to be a little bit of comedy, a little bit of fun for the fans or anything. I don't know if there's some significance to the guy who was playing El Dancimo. He did have a mask on. You could see the dude pretty clearly. I don't know who that is, but it just lasted a little too long because he really didn't do hardly any wrestling in the match. Like, there were points where he was squaring off against the heel, against another wrestler, and dancing and not even really defending himself or anything. So the logic broke down a little bit there. I get it. It's a silly spot for some fun. And I'm sure the kid's birthday party enjoyed it and some of the fans enjoyed it, but not really for me. But hey, it's a 25-man battle royal. I guess not everyone has to be 100% serious in this.
True, very true. But it became a little too much with Danceable. I could have done with uh Explosion Kid earlier was a little bit better than Nell Danceable in my opinion, but and I almost
And
feel it was the same damn person, but
might have been that guy was probably reffing one of the earlier matches or something as well, hence the mask. But at any rate, hey,
yeah.
I'll ask you this though, Munson, that it occurred to me while I was watching El Danzalo. Do you think he's a better or worse dancer than El Hijo de Nocte?
Oh my god. And El Hijo de la Noches. Oh man, El Hijo, he's he's quite the character. I don't know. I think Dancemo's his overall dancing skills might slightly outweigh El Hijo. Yeah, just slightly. He's got a little bit more, little more smooth, a little bit more swagger to him than what El Hijo has. The only thing El Hijo has going for him is that jackass referee at his side, Jorge. But I'm not even. That's not even saying that much. It's not setting the bar very high. There is the Jorge. But back to Island Pro before I start shit talking everybody in PPW. So we have out next.
Let's not start.
Yeah. All right. So up next is Pestilence, followed by Pete LeBlanc, followed by Thad Howitt. Sharky Jones comes out at number 20. Ryan Schimmel at 21. Number 22 is Bobby Boyette. 23 is Zatara. 24 is Wesley Pipes. Yeah. Number 15, last but not least, Ricky Mortis comes into this matchup. So in the end, ended up being quite interesting at the end, quite good. Ryan Schimmel picking up the victory. Interesting to see that Ryan Schimmel going to be the next guy, but why not? He's got the right build for it. He looks like the kind of guy that could step up to a champion, and I think that the fans are firmly behind him. So I like the booking of this battle royal and who our winner is, and I'm curious to see when he fights the champion. But oddly enough, and I'll let you talk about this, Papa Smokes, Ryan Schimmel's opponent is not who I thought it was, because we missed out. Last time we tuned in Island Pro, Giant O'Ryan was holding that heavyweight championship, but not so much anymore.
Yeah. And so this match, this battle royal ended up being like many battle royals in many companies. It was partly entertainment for the fans. They get a glimpse at a whole bunch of different talent, 25 different wrestlers. Surprised they didn't put some of the ladies wrestlers in there, but at any rate, you get a good look at a lot of their talent. I like Wesley Pipes a whole bunch, coming out with the gorilla mask on as usual. I like Ricky Mortis. He's very popular at Island Pro. But they get down to the final four. There's two baby faces and two heels, so they team up, start having a match, but that doesn't last too long. One of the spots I liked towards, at the conclusion of this match was Ricky Mortis gets Schimmel down, and sorry, not Schimmel. He gets one of the heels down, goes to hit a swanton bomb, the somersault off the top rope, and woo, did that turn out stiff. He got absolutely no airtime on that whatsoever. Not questioning the way he delivers his move, but the way you usually see it, the sort of Jeff Hardy style or whatever, you jump up and out and then do your somersault over. This one, he went in a straight line down and he barely got that somersault down. It looked stiff as living hell. I would have hated to be the guy lying on the mat for that one, but everything seemed to go all right. And Schimmel hits his finish on Ricky Mortis, goes automatically for a pin, forgetting that it's a battle royal just for a second, but picks up Mortis, tosses him over the top, and we've got a winner. So I like the look of Schimmel. Just like you said, he's got a good build. He looks like he's an experienced wrestler. He's got a cool look and everything. So here, now you've got your new number one contender to the IPW Heavyweight Championship. And just as Schimmel's celebrating what is quite a momentous victory in the Island Rumble, everybody's attention is now drawn to the screen because the IPW champions got something to say. And surprise, surprise, who's the new IPW champion, but August Artois, a guy
Mm-hmm.
we've very much admired his work in the previous IPW shows that we've watched. He can talk. He's a great slimy heel. He's a good worker. His ring work is very good. So a guy definitely worthy of holding their main championship. And in a true heel move, he ain't even showing up at this show. This show has nothing to do with him. He doesn't care. He's sitting at a table somewhere and just gonna give his little spiel about he doesn't care who the number one contender is. Doesn't worry him. Nothing worries this guy because he's the big draw. He's the champion and he's a slimy heel. So there you go. This match was part entertainment for the fans, some silliness, some wackiness, some comedy, but also some serious stuff too, and some story building. So bang. Now IPW's got their stuff set up for the main event of the next card or two. We'll see how they decide to focus Artois at some point in the future. One of the next couple of cards, if not the next card, we'll see those two clash. And Schimmel looking like he's got all kinds of momentum coming into this. So August Artois better have his ducks lined up in a row, and he better be ready for this because Schimmel's coming in with some momentum.
Yeah, this looks like a great one-on-one matchup for the belt. Overall, fun time once again with Island Pro Wrestling, our good friends over there.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. Check them out on all social media, as well as check out Island Pro Wrestling over on YouTube. Give them a subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, all the lovely things. Tell them the Video Bros sent you over there. Pop Smokes, your overall thoughts. Did you have fun with this one?
Very much so. And I like that we're covering Island Pro Wrestling now. They're a smaller company on the Canadian independent circuit and running. I like that they did a show on the road in Cornwall, but I like when they host in Charlottetown as well. I'm interested in watching more of this. I'm glad now that we've watched 2 or 3 of their shows so that we're getting a feel for some of their talent, some of the way they like to book and set up their matches and their cards. I think they've got a great product and I'm entertained by it. I'm into it now. So I need to keep watching. I want to see what happens. I want to see the struggle that goes on for the 2 belts at least. And then I hope that they get the ladies wrestling involved a little bit more. We've seen a couple of matches in the past, but I want to see more good stuff from them. Tip of the hat to Island Pro Wrestling. Thanks for another great card. Glad you streamed it live and glad you put it on YouTube for us to enjoy.
Yeah, and just as a quick update, it's not that there wasn't any ladies matches on this card. They were actually the VIP matches. There was 2 ladies matches that were the VIP matches for this particular card. So they are out there somewhere. I think if you're on their Patreon or something, they must have something like behind a paywall in order to get those matchups. But I'm sure there'll be more of the ladies division on display at their next card for sure, which I know, if I'm not mistaken, has a matchup between Ronnie Payne and Stormy Hale on that one. So that should be an interesting fight for sure.
Okay, good. I always like to see the ladies get their time, and that's good. If they're being featured on paid content, that's cool too. Just whatever way the company wants to do it, but let them get in there and give them their time.
For sure. Yeah. More Island Pro to come from us in the near future. But what's coming up on Ring Respect right over the next 2 weeks? Well, we've got some plans in mind. In fact, Pop Smokes, hit them with you next week. Trip through the territories. Where are we going, my friend?
All right, Munson, we were getting down to the nitty-gritty of our territory list here. We had approximately 25 to start, and we've only got 4 or 5 left at this point, don't we? So this time we've done a lot of Texas wrestling. We've done some Southern wrestling recently, which we always enjoy. But this time, going out a bit further, going out to something different, we're going to do wrestling from Hawaii, the islands, pro wrestling from out there, and they have an interesting and storied past. We'll talk all about how wrestlers back in the territory days would do that Western Coast swing, maybe from Vancouver down the West Coast to LA, then out to Hawaii, and then possibly from there on to Japan, depending on how big of a booking trip you could make yourself. But lots and lots of the most famous wrestlers from the territory era participated in Islands Pro Wrestling out in Hawaii, and we're going to talk all about that from history to modern times, from the beginning of the company to the end. We'll talk about it all.
Yeah, from Island Pro Wrestling this week, all out to the island of Hawaii next week for a trip through the territories. And the week after that, here's a storm warning on the horizon, and we're going to be covering a preview show of Prairie Pro Wrestling Storm Warning on June the 25th here on the channel. Who might join us in the studio? I can't tell you. I don't know. I've got to confirm some things, maybe cross a few T's, dot a few I's. You know how the story goes. We'll let you know closer to the time if somebody from the PPW roster is going to be joining us for that preview show. But that's what you can expect the next 2 weeks here on Ring Respect Radio. But in the meantime and in between time, let's get that beautiful, expensive ticker of Papa Smokes is on the screen so he can let you know where to find him and what he's got coming up next.
All right, everybody. I can always be found on Thursday nights on OLE Podcast and the Video Bros Network. The exact podcast you're watching right now is Ring Respect Radio. We're here every week. And other than that, I am on Elon Musk's free speech wonderland known as X. I am at smokes_Papa and also on Twitch, allegedly at least, at Papa_Smokes_. All
right, there's where you can find Papa Smokes. That's for myself, Bobby Munson. The ticker down below is going to bring you to all of my social media where you can find me next here on the channel this coming Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, back with Andre C. to give you a point of view, our weekly talk in the world of sports. And man, sports has been awesome at the moment, from that banger of a playoff series between the Golden Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes at the moment, to the debut of the World Cup, where today we saw 2 goals and 2 red cards as Mexico wins 2-0 over South Africa to pick up the first 3 points of the tournament. Where will we be come Sunday? Who's going to be picking up points? How many more red cards are there going to be? Find out this Sunday with myself and Andre on Point of View, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You can also catch myself and Papa Smokes every Saturday, Prairie Pro Wrestling's YouTube channel. We're the commentary team for those matchups. And we got a banger this coming Saturday, Papa Smokes. We just called it here tonight. Ready for this Saturday. Jacob Creed, the Crazed Cowboys, taking on Riley Cruz. It's to decide which one of them gets the first crack at Michael Allen Richard Clark for the belt. You do not want to miss it. One hell of a fight between these two. And you can also catch many great shows right here on OLE Podcast. Right down below, you can follow us on all social media, or you can check us out here on YouTube or Twitch. We're partners on both. You can go ahead and give us a follow on Twitch. Appreciate that. If you want to share a sub or a Prime sub, that helps out even more. Over on the YouTube side of things, it helps us if you give us a subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section below if you're watching on replay. But if you're also watching on replay, Pop Smokes, as I say each and every week here on the show, you can pull out your mobile phone. You can go over to your hype points and you can hype this show up. And we love those hypes. Yes, give us those hypes. You get up to 3 hypes a week that you can give to your favorite programs right here on OLE Podcast. And we want you to share that love with myself and Bob Spokes. Thank you for being here, Mangler. Appreciate you, my friend. But yes, you can also help us out with super chats. When we're live like this, you can throw super chats in the chat. You could get Bob Smokes and I to say something you wouldn't expect us to say here on the show, which there isn't a whole lot of that. But if you donate money to the channel, you can get us talking all sorts of kind of crazy shit right here. So help keep OLE going, be able to support us in the best way possible. And part of that support is being here live with us and keeping the chat active. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next week for a trip through the territories.